And I was at work at that time. I was working for a company after I medically retired from the sheriff's department. I went into fire life safety. And I was working at this company as a project manager. And I get a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. And I hear, "Is this Eric Cundiff?" "Yes, it is." "This is Bill Davis." I said, "Who?" "Mayor Bill Davis." I said, "Oh, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry." I says, "What can I do for you?" He says, "Hey, I got your application here for Planning Commission. You have time?" "Yes, sir, I'll make time." "Good, be at the ranch in a half hour." I said, "Where's the ranch?" So he told me the address, And thankfully, it was fairly close to, Singleton, where my home is at.
Right.
And when I worked, I was in kind of work clothing. I had no idea, I didn't want to show up in work clothing, so I ran home real quick, and the office was in Yucaipa, so I ran home real quick, and I put on a nice button-up shirt and a nice pair of slacks, and first impressions. Bill.
I do.
And which is why you're laughing. And of course I did not, and so I put on nice clothing, and so I showed up to his ranch and went to his office, and God bless him, he come out that office door and he was working. He's a working man.
He is.
And
Absolutely.
and I appreciate that about him. And he came out and he was in his working clothes, and I think he had a cigarette in his hand.
That's probably right.
And
yeah.
and he says, "Well, you didn't have to dress up for this." And I remember saying something to him about, "Well, sir, I didn't know, I'd rather come and be dressed in nice clothes and make a nice first impression than not, And he, we kind of laughed about it, and then we talked, just like a couple of guys. We talked for probably an hour, I think. And we talked about my background in the sheriff's department. We talked about my background in the Navy. We talked about my background at the company, reading plans, understanding how plans look, and as it pertains to certain construction projects, and that was it. It was just a really friendly. It was a great conversation, and I will always appreciate him for that. It was just a honest to God good conversation. And after we got done, he looked over and he says, "Well, I'm gonna select you, and I'm gonna appoint you as my planning commissioner. So be at the next meeting." And he told me what time that was, and that's how I got in.